Welcome to episode number 350, where I'm discussing the imbalances and disorders which can occur in the Rasa Vaha Srotas, which is the channel in the body carrying plasma and lymph. Its main function is to distribute nutrition to all the tissues of the body. So the health of this channel is paramount for our overall health. So please stay tuned to find out more. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. This episode is sponsored by Kerala Ayurveda. Would you like to dive deeper into Ayurvedic learning in a flexible format that aligns with your lifestyle? Kerala Academy invites you to discover how the science of life can empower you, from how you start your day to the harmony of your relationships and the work you contribute to our planet. Study entirely online or attend in person with the freedom to shift as your life unfolds. To learn more, visit keralaayurveda.us/courses. And for $100 off tuition, use the reference code ELEMENTS100. That's ELEMENTS100 when you join a beginner training. And you can find all those details in the show notes. Hey there, it's Colette, and today I'm talking about the imbalances and disorders in the Rasa Vaha Srotas, which is the channel carrying rasa in the body. Rasa is the first tissue formed from the elemental juice produced after digestion. Rasa is our plasma, lymph, and the serum circulating throughout the body and nourishing all the tissues of the body. The health of this first tissue, rasa, and the Rasa Vaha Srotas, the channel carrying rasa, is extremely important as it determines the health of the other 6 tissues of the body. Now, if you're not familiar with this process of nutrition of the dhatus, then I highly recommend checking out episode 92, where I go into detail about this nutrition process from digestion through the nutrition of all the tissues of the body. It's really interesting information from Ayurveda, so definitely check that out, episode 92, called Ayurvedic Nutrition of the Dhatus, if you haven't already done so. Let's talk about some of the basics of this channel, Rasa Vaha Srotas. So the root of Rasa Vaha Srotas is the right chamber of the heart and the 10 great vessels, the main arteries, which carry nutrition to the entire body. The passage or marga of this channel is the venous and lymphatic system. And the opening or mukha of Rasa Vaha Srotas is the atrial venous junction in the capillaries. Rasa Vaha Srotas includes the plasma, the fluid portion of the blood in which the white and red blood cells are suspended, and the lymphatic system. And this channel carrying plasma has many responsibilities, including the distribution of nutrients and vital fluids to all the tissues of the body, hydration of tissues and cells, maintaining the water electrolyte balance and the acid-base equilibrium, transporting respiratory gases, the initial stages of digestion and assimilation of minerals and fats through the lymphatic system, the production of lymphocytes and gamma globulin, both of which protect the body against bacteria, viruses, toxins, and infections. This channel is also responsible for regulating blood pressure, blood volume, and the viscosity of the blood, and also regulating body temperature. Now, to learn more about Rasa Vaha Srotas and the subdoshas involved, check out episode 278, where I talked about that in detail. As I said, in this episode, I'm focusing on the imbalances and the disorders which can occur in this channel. So now let's look at the signs and symptoms of aggravation in Rasa Vaha Srotas. And of course, these will vary depending on the rogi's constitution, the severity of the imbalance, and many other factors. But here are a sample of how the symptoms could manifest. First of all, there could be low Agni mandya, of course, Agni being the digestive fire, an altered sense of taste in the mouth and loss of taste perception, a poor appetite or lack of interest in food, of course, because of that Agni mandya. And this may lead to emaciation due to the lack of nutrition, dehydration, nausea, heaviness in the body, pain in the body. There may be fever, fatigue and lethargy, darkness around the eyes. There may be congestion in the channels and lymphatic congestion, edema or swelling, high or low blood pressure, anemia, a pale complexion, drowsiness, ringing in the ears, and hypersensitivity to sound. There may be palpitations, anxiety, confusion, even vertigo, hair loss, premature graying and wrinkling, and goosebumps. And if there's a blockage in the channels due to an ama or toxin accumulation in rasa, these symptoms may include a thick coating on the tongue, body ache, a feeling of heaviness, inertia, the roots of the hair may be aching, and a poor sense of taste and smell. So those are the signs of imbalance, the early symptoms of imbalance. So now let's look at the disorders. So if those early signs of imbalance are not pacified and the body brought back into balance, then a disorder may manifest. So vitiation of the doshas can be responsible for disturbing the function and the structural integrity of the channel, and vitiation of the shrotas can result in vitiation of the dhatus, the tissues, and the dhatu flowing through it. So an aggravation of vata, pitta, and kapha can be responsible for disturbing the function and structural integrity of the shrotas or channel. And an aggravation of the channel can result in an aggravation of the tissues and the tissue flowing through it. So let's take a look at specific disorders. Rasa kashaya, which is the depletion of rasa, which can result in dry skin, dehydration, fatigue, weakness, mental dullness, and anxiety. This depletion of rasa could lead to a chronic fatigue syndrome, anemia, chronic dehydration, and malnutrition. The next one is rasa vritti, which is an excess of rasa, which can result in heaviness in the body, lethargy, excessive saliva, congestion, and edema, which is swelling. This excess of rasa can result in further complications like lymphatic congestion, lymphedema, accumulation of fat leading to obesity and heart problems due to blockages in the Rasa Vaha Srotas. The next disorder is if there's an accumulation of ama or toxins in rasa, which can result in digestive disturbances, a coated tongue, bad breath, lethargy, and general malaise. And this can lead to chronic indigestion and other problems if the toxins are not eliminated from the body. And then we have rasa dushti, which is a vitiation of rasa. And these symptoms may vary depending on the type of vitiation, whether it's vata, pitta, or kapha. And this can result in skin issues like eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, and autoimmune disorders. Arasa is the next condition, which can result in symptoms of weakness, emaciation, dry skin, and a lack of vitality. Arasa can result in severe malnutrition, chronic wasting diseases, and emaciation due to serious illness. The final disorder is Shrotaroda, or blockage in Rasa Vaha Srotas, which can result in poor circulation, edema, lymphatic congestion, and swelling. And this could lead to conditions like varicose veins, peripheral artery disease, and deep vein thrombosis. I'm jumping in here with a special discount offer on my online consultations. I've never offered it before. And the reason I'm offering it now is because on August 17th, the Elements of Ayurveda podcast celebrates 7 years. I can't believe it has been 7 years since I started this podcast. And to mark this occasion, I'm offering a 10% discount on all my online consultations. That includes the initial 90-minute intake consultation, the 60-minute follow-up consultations, and my support and accountability packages. They consist of 45-minute sessions, and you can buy a package of 3 or a package of 5. All you have to do is go to my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com, go to the consultation page, choose your consultation you want to purchase, and in the checkout, use the code anniversary in the coupon slot to receive your 10% discount. Now, this offer is only valid until July 31st, 2024. So act now. And the consultation must be booked before August 31st, 2024. Of course, this rule only applies to the first of the 45-minute sessions in the support and accountability packages. So as I said, use the code anniversary at checkout for your consultation to receive the 10% discount until July 31st, 2024. So act now. And you can also find the link and the info in the show notes. And I hope to connect with you soon. So they are just some of the imbalances and disorders that can manifest in Rasa Vaha Srotas. Now let's look at some of the possible causes of aggravation. I've mentioned some of the causes already, but here are more causes of aggravation in this channel. Eating poor quality, ultra-processed foods and foods that are heavy, oily, and fried. Overeating. Cold foods or drinks, which can affect our digestive fire, our agni, and can result in improper digestive process, resulting in ama or toxins. Excess sugar and salt. Poor food combinations, and I discussed those in detail in episode 26 if you want to check those out. A sedentary lifestyle, emotional stress, worry, anxiety, and overthinking, and toxins or ama in the body, which can result in imbalances in the doshas, and then that, of course, has a knock-on effect and can manifest into further imbalances and disorders. And as I mentioned earlier, if rasa, the first tissue formed in the nutrition process, is suboptimal, it will have a downstream effect on all the other tissues of the body. And remember that the dhatu flowing through the channel can also affect the structural integrity and the functioning of the channel. So if the first tissue rasa is suboptimal, then it can affect the structure and functioning of Rasa Vaha Srotas. Therefore, it's very important to treat imbalances in rasa, the first tissue, and in Rasa Vaha Srotas as soon as possible. So when we're assessing the Rasa Vaha Srotas, we want to assess the skin, the lips, the nails, the lymphatic system, the blood plasma, the veins and vessels, the menstrual fluid, and the breast milk, if applicable, because menstrual fluid and breast milk are the upadatus or byproducts of rasa. And of course, we want to assess the rogi's mental and emotional state, taking into account the rogi's current state of imbalance, their unique constitution, and then provide an individualized, holistic treatment tailored to the rogi and their lifestyle. But let's take a look at the Ayurvedic approach to managing Rasa Vaha Srotas. Well, one recommended treatment for imbalances in this channel is cleansing, as the many causes I just listed ultimately affect the agni or digestive fire, resulting in agni manda, slow digestive fire. And this can cause the formation of ama or toxins. And so the first line of treatment is often cleansing or langan, lightening the body by relieving the heaviness. And so cleansing is advised to help eliminate any accumulation of ama or toxins, helping to remove any obstructions in the channel. We want to make sure that the shrotas or channels are unobstructed and allowing the flow of nutrients and waste in and out of the channel and tissues, improving circulation and metabolism, pacifying the doshas, and strengthening the shrotas or channels so it can function optimally. Now, if you want to know if you have an accumulation of toxins in the body, then check out my toxin quiz on the homepage of my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. And I'll put a link in the show notes to that. And then once the body is cleansed, the focus is on rejuvenation and restoring balance. And then looking at the inputs of food, hydration, sensory inputs, along with stress management. Talking about the inputs, diet, of course, plays a major role in our health and well-being, especially with the vast amount of ultra-processed foods in the market today and deceptive labeling practices, which can only cause confusion. We need to be eating as close to nature as possible. Of course, items like grains and milk and cheese, etc., will be processed, but we should at least be checking the labels to make sure we're avoiding any stabilizers or additives. So basically, if you don't recognize the ingredients on the label, best to avoid. We also want to make sure that we're eating in alignment with our unique constitution and foods that are nourishing to the body. How we eat is also important in practicing mindful eating so that we digest and assimilate the nutrition well. So avoiding eating on the go, eating while multitasking or driving, because that really affects the digestive system and can lead to toxins. Hydration is also very important in making sure we're drinking adequate fluids for our doshic makeup. So in general, Vata up to 3 liters per day, Pitta up to 2.5 liters per day, and Kapha up to 2 liters per day. Of course, this would vary depending on the person's unique constitution, if they're working outdoors, their activity level, etc. And including herbs and spices to support your digestive fire is also a really good idea. And spices and herbs which are appropriate for your constitution to ensure that you're digesting food well. Now, if this is all very overwhelming to you, then I recommend booking an online consultation with me so I can tailor all this information to your unique constitution and your lifestyle and give you a holistic strategy for your food, routines, exercise, lifestyle, etc. And I'll weed out all that excess information and I'll educate you on your unique constitution, on your subtle signs of imbalance, on what to do when you're feeling those imbalances. And I'll give you a strategy so that you can feel empowered to take care of your health and well-being and make choices for your mind-body type. We also need to look at lifestyle modifications like implementing daily dinacharya or self-care practices, which I discussed in detail in episode 16, and following a seasonal routines or ritucharya. I discussed those in episode 122. And of course, incorporating regular exercise to promote circulation and lymphatic flow, because we know that the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the heart. So it's relying on our activity and the contraction and release of our muscles to pump this fluid around the body. Choosing exercise which is appropriate for your constitution. I discussed that in episode number 14. So check that out if you're not familiar with it. And prioritizing good sleeping practices, which I discussed in episode 74, called Sleep and Your Dosha. And of course, managing stress with regular mindfulness practices like pranayama, yoga, meditation, or time in nature. Taking time also with friends, making real life connections is important for our health and well-being, and taking time away from our screens, which tend to just stimulate our nervous system and affect our health. Now, if you're looking for support on your Ayurvedic journey and want a holistic strategy for your health and well-being, then please check out my online offerings. I offer the online consultations I just talked about, my Digestive Reset Cleanse. You can do a private cleanse at any time and choose your own dates. And I want to let you know the next discounted group cleanse starts October 4th. So that gives you plenty of notice. We will be going through the transition of the seasons around that time. So it's a good time to cleanse. And if you like to study by yourself, then I recommend my online Daily Habits for Holistic Health program. That's a 28-day self-paced program. If you have any questions before you book any of my online services, then please take advantage of my free 15-minute online services inquiry call, where we can hop on Zoom and I can answer all of your questions. So there you go. That was all about the imbalances in the Rasa Vaha Srotas. And I hope you found this information helpful. If you think that this information will be interesting to family or friends, please share it with them. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, then please do so. And the new episodes will automatically download for you every week. If you're finding value from the information of this podcast, I would really appreciate a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please come join me on social media. My new Instagram page is Elements of Ayurveda Podcast, and you can find me on Facebook under Elements Healing and Wellbeing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.